Good morning, it's day 4, and we're day 4 of Vlogust. It's already moving by so fast. I had someone who asked me about cutting the bags for the homeless shelter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I re-injured this arm. Actually just made it sore. But what I do to store my bags is I flatten them out, and then you want to make them nice and flat as you can. And this is how I store them until I'm ready to cut. You fold the handle down into it, fold it down in half, or you can fold it into thirds. You want to press it down, and then you can hold, you wouldn't believe how many will go into a bag until you're ready to cut them. I'm going to show you what I did that day that I injured, I won't say injured, but made it sore. And it's because, you know, this arm's a little less strong because of the injury. But once you get that bag folded, take and fold it this way. Take your scissors and cut off the handle. And these are the scissors that you get at Dollar Tree for $1. They're the kitchen scissors, Betty Crocker. They're the best scissors in the world. Especially for this project. Cut off the end tab. And then what I do is I just come in, cut it in half, and then cut it in half again. As you can tell, I'm using my right hand. I have not learned to cut with my left hand using scissors. And I did like a big, probably 40-gallon trash bag the other day, cutting bags. So it was real tender. This you can toss away. Generally what I do is I have a bag that may have a rip in it, and I will take that bag and put all of these in there, and then I go to Walmart and stuff it in their plastic bag, reusable bag thing. Basically what they're doing there is they're sending it off to be recycled. And you know, works out well. Now I prefer the larger pieces when I'm doing my homeless bag, simply because, you know, when you're working with bulky yarn, things go faster. It's true with yarn as well. I know there's a lot of people that will cut it into 1-inch strips or smaller, and that's fine for them, but it doesn't work for me for the homeless mats, because you want them to be more cushy. You want them to be more substantial than using the thinner. I have found when I have had people who cut for me and bring strips already cut and joined together, and they're very thin, skinny strips. Generally what I will do is I will take 2 to 3 different balls, hold them together, crochet that in. It's just I prefer the bigger, thicker. The homeless that we've handed out to in this area, they much prefer that. It helps keep them a little drier and a little warmer. We did have a couple that were some thinner strips, and they generally took 2 mats to the 1 mat. I will show you another method for cutting. It is the method that I usually do when I'm upstairs, and I don't have it set up enough upstairs to actually do the videotaping, so that will come tomorrow or maybe Tuesday. It is using the cutting mat and a rotary cutter, and yes, you can do quite a stack full, and it goes a lot faster, It's just right now, my sewing table is full of projects bags that need to be sewn. Yeah, because, you know, Friday afternoon, the arm had been throbbing, Thursday, Friday, and now we're getting to the point where it's not so bad. So I can get back up there and get to work. So that's what I'm doing later on this afternoon. The video that you're going to see coming up was our trip up to State College to get our groceries yesterday. It is also at the very end. I have my favorite restaurant, which is Reyes Teca, and we try to hit that restaurant every week. They know us as regulars, you know, and they always come and ask us when they've hired new people. They send them to our table because they know that we're going to give them honest answers about how well the new person did. Were you able to understand them? Because the owner of Reyes Teca came here to the U.S., he and his wife. They worked very hard. They became U.S. citizens. And they bring in people the correct way from other Latin countries. They bring them in and they do the thing where they sponsor them, which is actually what we used to follow, a tradition of having, you had to be sponsored. When you come in from other countries other than the Latin or the Hispanics, when you fill in and get that work visa, you have to be sponsored by someone. But however, that has changed over the past 13, 14 years. Now we no longer enforce being sponsored, and being sponsored actually means the person sponsoring for you is responsible for you financially, medically, and educational wise. So in other words, if you come in and you don't have a job, you are like their child. You are responsible 100% for that person, for their health care, for their food, for their whatever needs they have, their education, all of it. But like I said, we've kind of gotten away from that in the U.S., and although it's still on the books, but Congress for 40 years refuses to work on that issue, and of course they're continuing to do that. So here's hoping that after the election that somebody gets off their ass and they actually either repeal the law, change the laws, or actually work on it and come into a solution. Because you just can't keep doing this. It hurts everyone involved. Okay, rant over. So enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye. I would show you some of the artwork. And this is one of my favorites. Now they have a table that has the exact same thing painted, but these are all hand painted, gorgeous